Welcome to the Lean Out Your Business podcast, a show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs accelerate business growth and simplify success. I'm your host, Crista, and I've been working with businesses for more than 2 decades to help them lean out and optimize what's working while eliminating anything that's not adding value. So if you are ready to get more time back in your day, more profit in your business, and to do business differently, growing and scaling on your terms, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about reimagining your business, both understanding when it's time to reimagine your business and what that might look like. I'm also going to take you behind the scenes and share a little bit about what we're doing at Lean Out Method and some of what I'm doing to really reimagine things so that we can take that business to the next level and scale in a big way this year. This is going to be the first part of a multi-part series where I'm going to be really deep diving into what we are doing to reimagine the business, the lessons learned that impacts all of the things, because I know so many people are in a place where they are either looking to reimagine what they're doing in their business or they're supporting their client through a really big transformation. So I hope that you find this series really helpful. But for today, let's dive into how to know if it's time to reimagine your business and some things to reflect on to really go ahead and get started. So here's the thing. Most of us went into business for freedom of some sort, right? We wanted freedom to spend our time doing the work that we love with the people that we love to work with. Most of us wanted to make a big impact or leave a legacy. We want to have a profitable business. We want a business that allows us to live and enjoy the lifestyle that we want, while we also have a business model that we love that supports that. The problem is that often is not our reality. So what do you do if all of those goals and all of those things that you went into business for do not align with what your business really looks like? Maybe you're at a place where you feel like you've been working way too hard and you are just sick of sacrificing your personal life, your health, and all of the things you used to do for fun for your business because your business feels all consuming. Or maybe you've lost the passion that you once had for what you do in your business and you're really ready to take a fresh look at your business model, your offers, or your teams. Or maybe you just are a natural idea generator like so many visionary entrepreneurs are, and you have so many ideas and you want to scale and you want to pursue all of them, but you don't even know which one to do next, let alone where you'll find the time or the space to be able to pursue those ideas. Or maybe you're thinking to the future and you might recognize that when you think about that next level for both yourself and your business, you know that what you're doing now isn't going to get you to where you want to be, but you have no idea what's actually going to get you there. And you're not entirely even sure what there means or what it even looks like. So these are just a few of the things that some of the people in the Lean Out community have shared with me. Maybe some of these resonate for you. If they do, it's certainly an indicator that it might be time to reimagine either your business itself or aspects of your business. I've heard from so many people how they're frustrated with pouring tons of money into paid ads and not getting the return that they expected, to expecting new clients and new big contracts to go through and having things fall through at the last minute, to having their launches no longer working the way that they used to, right? They've got lower sign-up rates, they've got much lower show-up rates, and their conversion rates just aren't what they're looking for. And so a lot of people in the community have shared that they're in this place where it feels like things just aren't quite working. And in a lot of cases, they've wanted to make changes for a long time, but it took getting to the point where things aren't working all that well to finally be the catalyst to go ahead and act on it. So maybe you are in a similar place, or maybe things are going great for you, but you just know that things need to change in order to really have the business that you want for the next level that you want to step into. As we go through our business journey, there are always catalysts for change that come about. Sometimes they're business related things. Most often they're actually personal related things. And either way, they're those things that make us lift our heads up above our business and start to question everything. It removes us from the day-to-day. It even sometimes removes us from the vision and the strategy, and it just puts us outside our business looking in such a way that we can really start to see where things need to change. Now, I'll share for me personally, I've had a couple different catalysts that have really caused me to reimagine and shift things in business. I know for so many people, this came about with the pandemic, right? You've seen with the Great Resignation, and you've seen with so many new people starting businesses, and so many other people, sometimes because they really wanted to, sometimes because they had no other choice, completely reimagining their business model. For me, it wasn't the pandemic, but it was at that same time where on New Year's Eve 2019, I got that phone call that nobody ever wants to get from my doctor telling me that my biopsy results were in and that I had breast cancer. And I'm perfectly fine now, right? 2020 was a bit of a wild ride for me, as it ended up being in different ways for, the rest of the world. But, today I'm perfectly fine. But when you go through an experience like that, for many people, it's the death of somebody, it's loss or grief in some capacity, it's getting some sort of medical diagnosis. There's something that happens that causes people to do exactly what I did, which was question everything. We all know that life is short. You hear these things all the time, and we all know it. But sometimes it takes those experiences to really tap into and say, you know what? It's time that I actually do what I really want to do. And I've shared on prior episodes before, but this was when I made the decision to shift my business model from working primarily with Fortune 50 companies in these really large multi-billion-dollar global businesses to working exclusively with smaller businesses and entrepreneurs, which is who I wanted to support most and who I really wanted to spend my time with and help to transform. So while that was a really giant leap towards a reimagined and a realigned business model, and I thought I was done, but apparently there was more to come. Something I've not talked about yet on the podcast, because honestly, I just don't think I would have been able to talk about it before now, but that you may be aware of if you're part of the community, is that in December, my world turned completely upside down when my best little buddy on earth, my little Yorkie Chewbacca, disappeared. He disappeared without a trace on December 18th. And I still to this day have no idea what happened to him. We fear the worst, but we honestly don't know. He went out through his doggy door first thing in the morning to do his business, and I never saw him again. I don't think I have ever been so deeply impacted by an experience in my entire life. As someone who does not have children, my dogs really were my entire world, but Chewbacca especially. He was my world. He was with me at all points in time. When I was working, he was at my feet. When I would shower, he would wait outside the bathroom door. He just always wanted to be by my side, and I absolutely loved that he was with me all the time. So when he disappeared, not only did time stop for a couple weeks where all I did was search and search and search, but my entire routines and my habits and my everything changed, because so much of what I did and how I go about my day was so wrapped up in Chewy. So as I've been, working through that experience and really processing not only the grief of it, but the fact that I really truly don't know what happened and may never know what happened, I found myself in this place of really deep introspection. And it made me question again for a second time, only a couple years later, what really does matter most to me in my life and my business? Who do I want to work with? Who do I want to support most? How do I want to work with people? What does my ideal team look like? What business model feels most aligned right now? And what does a rich and fulfilled life mean to me? Right? We do the Rich Fulfilled Life Blueprint inside the Simplify to Scale program. It's such a powerful exercise. So this was a great time for me to go back and really think through, what is that next level of a rich, fulfilled life for me? Right? How can I make more time to spend with my dogs? I have a new little dog now. His name is Remy, and he is adorable and sweet and lovable. And I have been trying to spend so much time with him. And the fact that he's this little tiny energetic puppy means that I need to spend a lot of time with him right now. But, that's part of, for me, what a rich, fulfilled life means. I want to be able to take the dogs for a walk, and I want to be able to travel, and I want to be able to spend time with my family, and I want to have these amazing experiences. And I want a business that supports that. And while I felt like my business was about 85% there, that 15% is where the shift comes in. And it's unfortunate that it often takes some kind of personal tragedy or challenge to be the catalyst for us to realize what matters most, and for us to look at and say, maybe 85% isn't good enough. I want 95%. I want 100%. But here's the good news. You do not need to wait for a tragedy or a challenge or for anything to happen. It's unfortunate that so many of us do wait for an experience like that, but we can choose change anytime. We can choose change anytime for any reason. That is part of the freedom that we have as the owners of our own business. So if there is any part of your business that you want to reimagine, now is the time to do it. Now is the time to look at how can I start to make those changes today? Not I will when, I will if, I'll do it next quarter, I'll do it next year, I'll do it when I hit this milestone. There are things that you can do right now to reimagine your business. Now, it's not going to be an overnight change. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some planning. It's going to take some transition. But don't wait to make those changes if there's any part of your business that feels like it should be reimagined. So here's a few questions that you can reflect on. The first is get really clear on what does matter most to you. And look at this both from the context of within your business. So what really matters to you in your business? What is the work that you love to do? Who do you want to work with? How do you want to work with them? What fuels you, and what do you want to create the space to do more of in your business? What's your zone of genius? And are you spending enough time in it? But also look outside your business. What do you love to do outside your business? Who do you love to spend time with? Are you spending enough time with them? What sort of adventures and experiences do you want to have in your life? And are you getting to have enough of those? What are the things that drain you that you want to lean out or delegate? And how are those things impacting your time outside of your work? And then when you think about next level identity, what does that look like for you in your business? So when you take the time to reflect on these questions, it'll help you see what your more ideal state is, and then it'll help you recognize where you're at today and what those variances are. That is the start of being able to put a plan in place to actually reimagine your business. So in the next part of this multi-part series, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and share more of how I'm approaching reimagining Lean Out Method, what the impacts have been, and what some of my biggest lessons learned to date have been. But today, what I wanted to share with you is how I'm actually going about approaching this. Because how I approach this in my business is the exact same way that I advise my clients when I work with them privately. And so I'm going to share with you the question that I ask all of my private clients when they are at that point that they really want to reimagine their business, or when they might not know yet that they need to reimagine their business, but that they know that things are out of alignment. And so here's the question. If you are starting a business from scratch tomorrow, and you could bring with you all of the experiences, all of the skills, and all of the knowledge that you have accumulated in your business to date, but nothing else, what would you do and how would you do it? So I'm going to say that one more time. If you were starting a business from scratch tomorrow, from scratch, right? You have nothing with you. All you have is your experiences, your skills, and your knowledge, right? Everything that you've learned along the way and that you've experienced along the way, you can bring with you, but you're not bringing anything else with you. No tools, no tech, no programs, no team, no nothing. You're starting from scratch tomorrow with just those skills, knowledge, and experience. What would you do and how would you do it? If you take the time to think about things and to brainstorm from a blank slate, it can be incredibly, incredibly freeing. Start to think about, what would the offers look like? What would you do? Who would you work with? How would you work with them? What would your day be like? How would you structure it? Right now, your calendar is 100% open. There's absolutely nothing on your calendar. How would you fill it? What would you do with it? What would your business model be? What would you charge? Whether you launched your business 2 years ago or 20 years ago, I am sure that you have learned a lot and grown a lot as the leader of your business in that time. And yet so often our current business model is one that we created years ago. We just keep making these minor changes to it over time, but our business model hasn't evolved and hasn't leveled up along with us. That is sometimes one of the root causes of feeling out of alignment. So I love using this question to just approach things from a complete and total blank slate. And if you had the freedom to build whatever you wanted tomorrow, what would that look like? Because here's the thing, no matter how much logical sense it makes to let go of the things that either are no longer working or that are not in alignment with the next level, it is incredibly, incredibly challenging to do. So much of our identity gets wrapped up in what we do, and so much fear gets wrapped up in letting go of the things that we're doing that it can be so hard to say no to things. It can be so hard to cut things and lean them out, even when we really want to, or even when we know it's the right decision. So whenever I'm working with a client and they are really struggling to say no and let go of things, or they made the commitment to do it and then they get a case of the yeah buts and they start to second guess everything. Yeah, but maybe I shouldn't, or yeah, but when those things happen, I take them right back to the blank slate approach, because it is often a lot easier to build up than it is to build down. Now, you want to follow whatever approach works best for you. If you can look at what you currently have and just say, that's got to go, that's got to go, that's got to go, and you can commit to it, no problem, great, by all means do that. But I find that this question of starting from scratch tomorrow, and all you get to bring with you is your experiences, your knowledge, and your skills, that really does help you to start to architect the business that you would really want, with the benefit of everything that you've learned from the time that you have started your business. Now, once you do that, that's when you're going to start to compare what that ideal state business model is with what you have today. And that's where the transition plan starts to come into place. So as I asked myself this question and went through and really reflected on it, as I shared, I was about 85% in alignment with what my ideal state is. And that's great. But I didn't want to stop there. I want to be 100% completely in alignment. And so I'm reimagining some things, and some of it's really exciting. Some of it's really challenging. I'm making changes to my team. I'm making some changes to my offers. I'm making some changes to my availability, and I'm making some changes to my business model. I'm saying no to a lot of things so that I can create the space for those things that are really, truly most important to me. And in an upcoming episode, I'll share a little bit more about what all of that is looking like. But when you think about your business, right, at the end of the day, the goal itself is pretty simple, right? You want to do work you love with people that you love. You want to make an impact. Most of us want to leave a legacy. You want to generate a certain level of revenue and wealth that lets you live whatever that rich, fulfilled life means to you. And if your business does not match that, if it does not support that, then it is time to reimagine your business. And it is time to do it right now, not tomorrow, not I will when, to really start to carve out the space to figure out what do you want, and then start to look at how can you transition what you have today to align with that. So I hope this episode helps you get started. Stay tuned for the next part of this series. And of course, if there's anything I can do to support you, whether through a VIP strategy day or a longer term 90-day engagement, just put time on my calendar at scalingstrategycall.com. And I would love to support you through this. I also have something fun coming, which I'll tell you about in the next part of this series, where I've decided that I'm going to pull a group together who really is ready and interested in reimagining their business. And we're going to do this together. And if I can pull everything together in the way that I'm trying to, we're going to do it together in person in the fall. So stay tuned, more to come. I hope you got a ton of value out of this episode, and I will see you again next week. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. I hope you got a lot of value and actionable insights from today's show, and would love if you take a moment to leave us a review. If you have any questions on today's episode or on how to lean out your business, join us over in our private Facebook community where every week we do live training and Q&A, and I'd love to have you be part of the conversation. Head to leanoutmethod.com/group to join us. And before you go, be sure to subscribe to the show so you're the first to know when we release a new episode. We'll see you next week.